Welcome to day 2 of the 2016 La Mirada Open, the inaugural event of the Disc Golf World Tour here on Spin TV. I'm your host, Jamie Thomas, and alongside me is my co-commentator, the 2009 PDGA World Champion, Avery Jenkins. And Avery, we're both so excited to be a part of this brand new tour. Tell us what this means for disc golf at large.
Absolutely. This is 5 events played in 4 countries. The best players on the planet playing the best courses in the world. The World Tour brings a professional element to the sport, and we're very excited to see it all go down today.
And we had a very interesting and dramatic day as the scores ranged from very far under par to very far over par. What stood out to you about yesterday's round?
We're going to point at these lead card players right now. We have Zach, we have Devin, we have Simon, and we have Paul. All players were over 94% putting inside the circle. Devin Owens was actually 100% inside the circle putting yesterday, with all players ranging from long-range putts, Zach Milton with 3 outside the circle, and Paul Macbeth. Just putting and consistency on the course is very key.
And today it's moving day. There's only 3 rounds in this tournament where the players are used to playing 4, sometimes even more than that. What's the crucial component to today's round?
Having 3 rounds, having only 54 holes to play, that puts a little more pressure on each and every hole played. And today, with the weather coming in, the rain threatening, we're going to see some changes up on the leaderboard, but just keep playing consistent, keeping the short cast, keeping the fairway, and keeping it in bounds. Very, very important.
And the rain is starting to fall here at La Mirada as we await the lead card to approach hole 10. We're going to give you some bonus coverage of the cards leading up to that, and we're going to follow our feature card, again, of Zach Melton, Devin Owens, Simon Lizotte, and the world's #1, Paul Macbeth. We'll be right back.
It's not a popularity contest. It's not about having the greatest season in history. It's not about shoe deals, grand slams, or breaking records. It's about knowing that every king's reign comes to an end, and looking into his eyes as he surrenders his throne.
Probably the 3rd card to approach hole 10. The rain really is starting to fall, and of course, just as we go live, right?
It's just timing of things in disc golf, and these are the 3 components you think about in the elements. You got rain, you got wind. It's not absolutely cold out here, but for Southern California at a frigid 55 degrees, these are all the 3 elements that these players have to deal with today.
And I've always wondered this. You've been in the game a long time. You played in a lot of different kinds of conditions. We can already feel the rain is really thick. It's not the thin sheets of rain, it's the really thick droplets. Does that affect the disc flight in any way?
Absolutely. The disc flying through the air is going to slow down just with the water and have to deal with the raindrops. But I think the biggest thing you have to deal with as a player is keeping the disc dry. Any slip with the thumb or the fingers on the disc is going to cause an errant shot. Any shot that flails out of bounds is going to cost you strokes in the end. So keeping your disc dry is the battle throughout today.
And we've heard already that there have been some birdies going down on the front 9. Paul Macbeth seems to be off to a hot start already, and we wonder if this weather will change things on the back 9, where the fairways are pretty close together and the players have to navigate a lot of out of bounds.
From what I've heard, the back seems a little bit more scoreable. A lot of par 3s out here, reachable par 3s. The par 4s are a good length, but for some of the farther throwers, they're getting down the way far enough where they have an easier approach to get that birdie on that hole. With 17 being an island hole, that's probably the most difficult hole on this back 9.
And you got to take a moment to shout out some of the major contributors to the Disc Golf World Tour. And speaking of the course, Disc Golf Park is a big part of everything we're going to do on the World Tour, providing all the equipment from the baskets, the tee pads, and everything. Tell us, for anybody that doesn't know, what makes Disc Golf Park unique, what makes it special?
Well, Disc Golf Park is the complete disc golf solution when you talk about the baskets, the tee pads, the information boards, and the tee signs, full color graphics. I think coming big right now is these tee pads handle weather very well. The artificial turf tee pad gives you the traction, the grip, but also allows you to release with your foot. And having this kind of durability on the tee pads is essential when you're playing disc golf in elements.
And one of the greatest things, one of my favorite things, and I know it's one of yours, that's part of this tour is the metrics. It's going to bring a new level of statistics and analysis to watching these pro players play. Break down some of the metrics and what the viewers are going to see and how we calculate it.
So the metrics are 4 components, 4 categories. The first being green hits, which would be greens and regulations in traditional golf. It's where the player makes the green on the first shot on a par 3 or the first or second shot on a par 4. So landing on the green from the tee pad. Right now, as I analyze the metrics for today's round, Paul Macbeth actually birdied 5 of the first 7 holes. Of those 5 birdies that he had, all 5 were green hits. 1 through 5 were on the green. That's excellent. That's what you're looking for when you're trying to get on the green. If you get a look at the basket on the putting surface, you got opportunity for birdies. The more times you're on the green, more times you get the chance to score. So these metrics are laying out very well. Inside the putting circle is one other stat. Outside the putting circle is another stat. And then finally, penalty strokes. Those would be all penalty strokes of the disc out of bounds. We have sidewalks out here. We have cement gutters and a lot of things that the players really have to deal with. 17 of the 18 holes do have out of bounds. Hole 11 is the only hole that does not have out of bounds where the players are going to go.
So the greens hit has more to do with the accuracy off the tee, whereas then you can use that metric in order to put it against the putting metric to find out your accuracy. Your outside the circle putts means you probably didn't get a green hit if you have a birdie, and vice versa. You're probably going to have a green hit if your inside the circle putting percentage is high and you're carding a lot of birdies. Now we're looking at, looks like the card with Steve Rico. It's approaching the tee here. We're gonna mosey our way over to hole 10 and hope to get you guys some golf. The rain seems to be holding off at this moment. And we just need everybody at home to cross your fingers, but we're gonna be out here, rain or shine, bringing you the second round coverage. And tell me, Avery, what's your favorite hole on this back 9?
I think the prettiest hole out here is hole 13. It has a lot of danger, a lot of difficulty, and with the challenge of the islands, the first island on the back 9, it's a very teardrop island, lots of OB surrounding it, but it takes a big long drive off the tee pad to position a second shot to the island. Probably the most difficult out here, but it's also, I think, the most aesthetic because you do have these flowering trees on the hillside here, and in a nice, gorgeous Southern California day, it's absolutely pretty. Right now, we got a little bit of rain coming in. It's still beautiful out here, the lush grass, the green, and the players dealing with what they got to deal with. You know, we have to deal with this all the time on the tour, playing in the elements and adjusting to it accordingly.
And the one nice thing about today is the relief from the heat. The sun really gets you down here in Southern California, and no stranger to sunburn we got out here in the first few days, but this doesn't feel too bad as long as the rain holds off. As you guys may be able to see, a little extra bonus coverage over on hole 11. Looks like Dave Feldberg, Nico Castro, and it's like KJ Nilo putting out. Hole 10, Avery, we're about to see some action. What's hole 10 like? Describe it for us.
This is a right-hander dream hole. It's a hyzer outside wide right. You got to get over these 2 trees that are about 3/4 of the way down the fairway. OB long left, cement gutter, string along the backside there. But it's a very standard right-handed hyzer. I did see a forehand of Kyle Webster yesterday where he took the forehand out left side. It's a very high percentage shot. It's very open. There's a lot less trees on that side, but you do got to deal with the fast green as it feeds the OB in the backside. Beautiful hole, a very scoreable par 3. Right-handers take the hyzer on the trees. You got this.
And it looks like we're dealing with a little bit of a tailwind. The wind and rain is holding off just ever so slightly right now as we're going to watch Ray Johnson, Kyle Webster, Dana Bitchie, and Steve Rico's card tee off. Looks like we're going to have Ray Johnson on the tee first. There's the big hyzer I was talking about. Out to the right, let it hang out over the trees.
finish back to the left. There's a little crosswind coming over our right shoulder, right to left, that carried that disc a little farther to the left than he wanted.
Dana Vici. Also opts for the hyzer.
Little tight, tickled trees to the right side, dropped him inbounds, looking about 50, 55 feet out.
Kyle Webster, as you said, he went on the forehand route yesterday. Let's see if he does that same thing again today. Smooth delivery.
Beautiful looking shot, great speed. He had landed it short on the hillside and let it skip and feed down to the basket. Perfectly played.
Height control so crucial on these downhill shots. The man from Silmar himself, Steve Rico, is going to bring up the fourth to tee.
Wow, a very tight inside release. Maybe released a little too early, but the tailwind pushed through and fed through the branches. That chipped up about 15 feet to the right. Fortunate enough, it got through that tree.
That was one of the more interesting projections from a tree that I've ever seen. It pushed that disc straight towards the basket and should leave him an easy putt for deuce.
Yeah, of all the shots I've seen yesterday, I've seen more than a few carry through those branches. And as I say in golf, a tree is 90% air. So on that theory, those discs were slicing right through and find their way to the basket somehow.
Helps to have some of the faster rim discs. I'm sure the guys that were playing this back in the old days when the first course went in the late 70s would have loved to have that little bit of advantage there.
Yeah, back in the day when this course was initially stalled in 1976, they were playing this course with frisbees. They were playing with Whammo frisbees back in the day. Much shorter layouts, obviously, and today with the way we elongate and stretch and challenge these players up today with the high performance and technologies of innovations of discs, we need to make them harder, longer, and more challenging with the way players are playing today.
And we'll take this moment to give a shout out to another one of our big supporters of the Disc Golf World Tour, Innova Champion Discs. They have done so much for the sport since their inception, from Dave Dunapace being the founder and the creator of the beveled edge disc, to really believing in this concept, supporting with tour fundraising discs some unique molds that are only to be found on the Pro Shop website as well as Discmania's website. So check out the VAVR, the PDX, and the VROC 3. And everybody who's already bought one, thank you so much for your support. The website, check out discgolfworldtour.com to stay up to date on all the latest info, live metrics, live stats. Follow your favorite pros. And, what's your favorite feature so far of the website, Avery? You've been messing with it a lot lately.
Yeah, I'm a big numbers guy. The incorporation of the metrics and the stats is just another element that hasn't been seen in disc golf. When you see a final score of a player ends around with a 52, 54, how'd they end up there? What'd they do? Were they parking everything? Were they making every putt outside of 50? How they get to that number, and to see where players are getting their green hits, greens in regulation, land on the green, putts made inside the circle, that fascinates me. I love seeing by the numbers. When I'm watching ESPN, when I'm watching golf, I like to see the stats and the numbers and see how this actually came down to that final score.
And we hope to continue to bring you guys that and even more in the future. So please give us some feedback. Let us know how we're doing and how you're enjoying it. So down on the green of hole 10, looking for some birdies. It's a little bit short. I believe that's Ray Johnson back there by the tree off to the left of the pin. It's an easy tap in 3. Dana Vici should be the next to throw.
So we'll give you a little update on the weather. It seemed like it blew past and blew through already. Light sprinkle, not a whole lot of wind now as it settles down back here in the bowl of the back nine. But really, it's moderate. I think a lot of the rain pushed north and east and came through really quick. We're going to keep on checking the radar, and hopefully we got away with one today.
Yeah, the skies are a little overcast, but it's pleasant. The wind has died down a little bit. And it's not Dana. It looks like it's going to be Kyle after his forehand drive. Very nice. He's now birdied that hole twice. First round and in the second round. And man, and you're somebody who teaches a lot of people how to throw forehands. Break down Kyle Webster's forehand very quickly.
Through and through, he has a very dedicated, very committed form. It's not fast, it's real slow and controlled. And you can really appreciate where he knows where he's going with the shot. The slow and controlled arm swing. And it's not very far shot, especially playing downhill. But just his technique as he comes through with the shot, keeping the disc flat, pulling it out to the left, and really staying committed on the flat release angle as he pulls the shot through. He has one of the best forms I've seen in forehand shots. I also appreciate his putting form. They're very slow and controlled as well.
He was very accurate with the forehand off the tee all day yesterday as we were rehearsing for the live, following their card around. And Dana Vici tapping in, I believe that was a 3 for him when he hit the tree. He was a little bit wide out for that second shot. And Rico, very familiar with this course, knows how to get some love from the trees. Ray Johnson's going to tap it for 3. And that's your card on hole 10. We'll be right back with more action from the 2016 La Mirada Open. And we're back here. Once again, it's the 2016 La Mirada Open. Welcome to everybody who's just tuning in. We are awaiting the chase card to get in position and be ready to tee off on hole 10. Sitting here hoping to see some birdies, maybe even an ace. It's a very reachable hole.
Yeah, there's a gorgeous hole to start the back nine as we look at the chase card. The leaderboard here, we got 9 down for Wasaki, 9 down for Patrick Brown, Philo Brathwaite, and Bobby Music at both at 8 down. So they're battling it out here. We've yet to see what the leader card is at. I know that Paul had a great start, and I think they're monitoring the live scoring and checking out where they are in comparative. But the chase card looking to make a move on this back nine.
100% in this, especially with moving day. Still 27 holes to play. Seeing some of the SoCal locals playing very well so far this weekend.
You had to assume that Bobby Music would be in this battle and part of this tournament the entire weekend. Growing up, as a kid, as a youngster, he lived across the street from this park. He's seen this park and this course evolve and change and morph, and he's been a part of every single event I've ever played down here, from Southern California Championships to the Golden State Classics. He's a big part of Southern California disc golf, especially at the course that produces champions, La Mirada Disc Golf.
And if you've ever watched any YouTube coverage of a tournament out here, then you'll definitely know who Bobby Music is, like Avery said. You can't miss him. He's always in the lead card. He's always in the hunt, battling even as recently as the SoCal Championships back in November here. So we await them to approach the tee, and it looks like it will be Bobby Music team first. Good height on the hyzer.
I'd say he's thrown that shot maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000 times in his career.
And it was fine just a minute ago, but again, that right to left cross late tailwind has picked up since these guys have approached the tee. Ricky Wasaki spiking in. Beautifully done.
Saki Bob dropping bombs, big hyzer, wide outside. Excellent shot.
Another California player, Patrick Brown, representing San Francisco.
Beautiful looking shot, trusted the disc, left it outside, wide right. Got a nice skip and a nice feed as a finish by the basket.
You see he walks off the tee, he says he's eating. He's fond of that phrase, spoon and a fork for eating. Those are his trusty discs. Well executed. Philo Brathwaite has a hot start to this season so far.
Huge wind gust, dropped the disc out of the air. He left it wide right, assuming that all their shots were going to finish to the left. His, just the bottom dropped out of it. Philo Brathwaite, another Southern California local, claims Oak Grove as his home course, and he's played the Southern California Championships here at La Mirada dozens of times.
And Philo Brathwaite, who won the Gentlemen's Club Challenge this year, that wind just seemed to shift. Just seemed to turn into a straight tailwind instead of a right to left, and pushed him out of bounds. That gutter does run up on you very quickly. Bobby Music, man himself, coming to see what we were doing. Very close battle right now.
Yeah, it's great checking in with these players as they walk through, giving me a little smile, giving me a little thumbs up. Players having fun out here. Like I said, they escaped the weather. They're happy to be out here. A little windy, no rain. You can deal with this. You can deal with this as a player.
We're gonna thank everybody watching. We're gonna give you guys the credit for sending us the vibes, the positive vibes and thoughts to hold that rain off, so we can have good broadcast. And the wind, it's picking up, and if it continues to be like this, we are in for some drama coming down the stretch on this back nine. Where again, as you just saw with Philo's shot, a small shift in that wind can make the difference between a 2 and a 4 on these holes. As our players approach the green, take this moment to shout out another one of our tour sponsors, Dude Clothing, out of Australia. Chris Finn, the reigning Australian champion, and he owns the company who is the official, not official, but official clothing provider, the Disc Golf World Tour. We're all rocking these hoodies and jackets. And Avery, you're telling me earlier your favorite feature about the pockets of this jacket?
Yeah, I'm rocking the Dude hoodie right now. It's got this performance material, which seems to be resisting some of the water right now. But the pockets on the sides, they actually engineered them to fit a disc. So when you're out there on the tee pad, waiting to tee, you can keep the disc dry as possible. Maybe tuck a towel in there, but you can actually store the disc inside the side pockets, both sides actually, of the hoodie. Great for playing, great for weather like this, and keeping us warm and toasty out here in the rain, as the rain is actually starting coming in again in a second wave. But man, you love the Dude sponsorship and big part of the World Tour, and we're glad to have you.
Yeah, I'm going to take the blame for that. It's my fault. I said thank you that the weather was holding off, and then I jinxed it. My bad on that one, guys. Yeah, the Dude jacket's one of the biggest accolades you can get is when the players who are in the tournament stop by the tent before the round when they hear the weather's coming to pick them up. I've been seeing a lot of the players from the earlier cards are rocking the Dude jacket, representing the Disc Golf World Tour. So big shout out to Dude Clothing. Thank you for the support, and everybody represent them. Dude, Down Under Disc Evolution. There's hole 10. A little bit of a short putt. Patrick Brown should be tapping in for 2 right there. Doesn't get any easier than that. You can about reach out, extend your arm, and put it in the basket. Players are tapping out on hole 10. The third card is on hole 11. And we are anxiously awaiting the approach of the lead card. Again, the lead card today is Paul Macbeth, Simon Lizotte, and the two lefties, Devin Owens and Zach Melton.
This just in as I'm checking the scores for the front nine through 8 actually. Paul Macbeth at 5 under par. He birdied the first 5 holes and he went par on the last 3 played. We're still waiting for them to approach the tee of 10. Hot scores right now. Nathan Doss currently sitting at 6 under par. He's tearing up his backside with 6 of the 8 birdies.
And Paul Macbeth approaching the tee with his card, and that's the chase card, and we'll be right back.
It's not a popularity contest. It's not about having the greatest season in history. It's not about shoe deals, grand slams, or breaking records. It's about knowing that every king's reign comes to an end. And looking into his eyes as he surrenders his throne.
Guys, Simon Lizotte has just run up and he teed off very quickly, trying to beat some of the rain with a big spike hyzer. Once again, you're on hole 10. It's the 2016 Mirada Open, the inaugural Disc Golf World Tour event. And that was the first player to tee from your lead card. That was Simon Lizotte, who held the honors. And now it's Paul Macbeth stepping up and looking at a hyzer.
Looking for the drop, it digs, it spins out, tails off about 20 feet long left. He's looking for that wind gust to drop the disc and end up sailing a little more left and right.
Just the tricky nuance of the screen, even when you put it in that spike angle, you can still get that little bit of rollout. As the rain starts to pound, we have the first lefty on the card, Devin Owens. And he hits that tree wide left. He's going to have a downhill approach, which is very dangerous if he tries to run it. So he's probably looking at a 3 here. And fourth on the box is Zach Melton. Looks like a sidearm.
Wow, that was a great shot. Left-handed thrower opts to go right side fairway with a forehand shot. Not what I was expecting out of him, but he executed perfectly.
And we are now going to move with the lead card and follow them for the back 9. Again, we're glad you guys are here with us. If you're just tuning in, this is the 2016 La Mirada Open. the inaugural Disc Golf World Tour event. And the rain is starting to fall. The wind is up, the rain is here. Just the drama of this back nine and moving day is already picking up, and we hope you guys at home will enjoy our coverage. Big shout out to the Terra Firma Media Group. The most experienced live coverage team in disc golf is here helping us. We have an all-star team, and I'm Jamie Thomas from Spin TV, and alongside me, my co-commentator, my good friend, Mr. Avery Jenkins. How are you feeling right now as this rain starts to fall and this drama starts to build?
Feeling great, just trying to keep dry. It's definitely coming down. For a Southern California rainfall, this is pretty good. It's usually more of a mist when you're this close to the ocean, but right now we're dealing with some rain. I know the players are trying to work with it. A lot of things going down, and they're really just trying to keep their disc dry at this point.
There's a lot of parallel fairways here as we are in a slight holding pattern. Going to watch the chase card who hits some of the trees early in hole 11's fairway. They're going to approach the green. Looks to be Simon Lizotte is going to be next. His disc went long out of bounds across the gutter, so he will be throwing his third shot. And that wind just is picking it up and sailing it, but that's a tester putt in this wind, in this rain. Devin Owens quickly throws the lefty from the complete opposite side of the fairway. He puts it right under the basket for a tap-in par.
So an update on the front nine. Paul and Beth birdied the first 5 holes and finished 5 down for the front nine. Moving to the back, we've got a 3-stroke lead over Simon Lizotte and a 4-stroke lead over Devin Owens. Milton, on the other hand, he's 2 over par today, sitting 9 strokes back. Little trouble in the front, a few OBs, a few penalties, but I look forward to seeing him pick it up pace on hole 10. Got a little tap-in birdie.
Sure didn't show in this hole, because he took that lefty forehand and just put it right there where he can. Normally, if this is a sunny day, that would be a gimme.
He looked like he was a little impatient on that tee, but knew what he wanted to do. A very committed forehand, out wide to the right, finished 20 feet short to the basket.
See the flag stick starting to pick up. Ooh.
A routine putt, rushed it a little bit, topside band, off the rim and back out.
Hit the underside of the yellow band up top and almost fell in the basket.
No matter how short these putts are, you can't take them for granted.
And that's a nice putt from Simon Lizotte. That's a great bogey save.
Got a few putts to clean up here. We have Paul, a little bit long side.
This would be a big putt for Paul, with only 8 more holes to play after this, to get a 2-stroke swing on hole 10 with a few more birdie opportunities coming up.
Dead center putt, knocks down a birdie on hole 10.
And he practices those. He wets down his putters. He, maybe not to the extreme that we put in the commercial for all those of you that saw that on Spin TV, his promo spot for the World Tour, but he did tell me he practices wetting his putters. He just has next level preparation from this event. So waiting on Devin Owens to tap in for 3. Here the rain is really starting to pour. And Avery, tell us about hole 11 coming up.
Hole 11, it's a slight uphill, low ceiling under the trees. They actually placed the tee pad back a little farther than normal and the basket tucked back left. It's the only hole in the entire course that doesn't have OB. So players can be a little more aggressive with the shot, try to get down the fairway. Very difficult birdie. You're not going to shrug at anything if you get a par on its 3, though.
You may see a couple of these players opt for the big Anheuser line, too, with the tee pad being pushed back. One of the first trees allows that angle, but it's no easier of a shot. And it's a high risk, high reward, because if you hit that first tree, then you still have to deal with that uphill on your approach shot. Waiting for tee of 18 to clear, group to go through, so we can set up to show you hole 11. Again, you're watching the 2016 La Mirada Open. We're so excited to be here. The Disc Golf World Tour is finally upon us. The months and months of preparation, the long hours, the countless meetings, and we're finally here to show you guys some disc golf, and I don't care about the weather. We couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, but you're looking at hole 11 here. 410 feet up the hill, low ceiling. I didn't see too many birdies on this hole. I actually saw one bogey out of Simon Lazat's lone bogey of the day on this particular hole. Not an easy hole. Players trying to throw it up the gut with some velocity, carry their shot back and left with a natural finish of the disc. But right now, you're just trying to play through it, try to battle the elements, make it through this round today.
And you're seeing the lead card take scores here. That is Austin Montgomery. That is your co-course designer and a disc golf park sales rep. He and UC Maresma really worked hard to find a way to really challenge these top pros because, as you well know, Avery, these guys are likely to shoot under par just about any course in the world.
You can't make it too easy on these guys. Increase the difficulty, have lots out of bounds, really make them manipulate and throw the shots you want to see. Shaking the disc out here, have speed control with contours of land. This course is designed for the best players in the world.
Speaking of, the world number one Paul McBeth will be the first to tee on hole 11. Wow, Anheuser got through the gap clean, but hit on edge, and he is rolling all the way back over to 10's fairway. That's going to be a long approach shot where touch is going to be required from this rain from a far distance.
The thought process on that was really trying to take it out wide, get out in the open, and leaving an early, easier second shot. Right now, he's a little off the fairway of 10, but it should be a wide open approach to the green of 11.
Devin Owens out of Oklahoma will be the next to tee, one of the two lefties on this card. Just trying to get the disc dry and just to get a grip out here. That's so crucial.
A dry disc is everything. You know, if that thumb slips, the disc is not going to go exactly where you want it to. Keeping a dry disc and throwing it up the gut.
The shot breaks over. It should be left of the green from the tee's perspective, but he should have a long look at it.
You just try and get the shots down the fairway. At 410 feet, uphill, low ceiling, not a lot of birdies. You're trying to get down the fairway, try and get an easy par, move on to the next hole.
And our other lefty on the card today, Zach Melton, will tee third.
That's the result of a wet disc. It slipped off his thumb, slipped off his hand, not the shot he intended. Off to the right, low into the hillside.
And Simon Lazat is going to look here to recover from that bogey he took on hole 10, going with the big Annie.
Definitely learning from the mistakes of Paul, leaving it out wide and making sure you're turning over the shot and committing to that turnover. Big shot. Yesterday, he actually caught the tree and fell short. This was his lone bogey, as I mentioned. This time, he's way down the fairway. I'm not sure exactly where it landed, but should give him maybe a possible look at it, too.
He is out left of the pin. That won't be a green hit, but it will be an opportunity for a long outside the circle putt. Again, green hits, outside the circle putts, inside the circle putting percentage, and penalties are all part of our metric system. If you're just tuning in and you're just watching, go to www.discgolfworldtour.com/live to see all the scoring, and you can click on each player's name and you can see their live metrics breakdowns if you've made an account. You can make an account for free. You can stay up to date. You can track your favorite players' progress throughout the tournament and throughout the tour, as it will regularly update how your favorite pros are doing. So make sure you guys check that out. And Avery, for those people that don't know yet, tell us a little bit about the live metrics.
Quick update on the metrics is that Devin Owen is still 100% putting inside the circle for the weekend. Paul McBeth's 100% for today, as these players are being very critical and very concise on their putts, taking the time inside the circle and making sure they're making it.
Extra crucial when the weather is against you. You see Zach Melton lining up a forehand. Skipping towards the green. Looks to be just outside of 20 feet away from the basket there.
He's just trying to get up and down at this point. Don't want to take another bogey during the second round. Kind of unsure about that shot process. You know, going out to the right side, low, keeping it low of the branches, uphill. A lot of factors you got to contribute to. Obviously, you got to deal with the rain.
Speaking of Paul Macbeth, way out left over in 10's fairway. Gonna look for an upshot here.
Wide open approach, making it look easy up and down at this point.
Makes it look like it's not even raining, because the rain is just, it's pouring. The droplets are big. It's starting to affect the visibility just a little bit. You can start to see the sheets of rain. But we're out here anyway. We're going to bring you all this live coverage of this back nine. And, Macbeth currently holding the lead, 5 strokes over Simon and Devin, and 10 strokes over Zach Melton. Simon Wazat's approach shot coming up next.
Yeah, I think Simon's game plan was just trying to get out into the open. Yesterday, he played a little tight, caught the tree, got the bogey. Right now, he's just trying to get out in the open. Easy approach. Good run at a putt, actually. Backside, leaves about 5-footer for a 3.
One thing you can't do out here against other opponents of this caliber is get 2 bogeys in a row. You have to at least get the lower score after taking that bogey, and Simon seems to have ensured that. Devin Owens, who was closest to the pin, even though none of these players will record a green hit, to throw next.
Just throwing it up there inside the circle, just trying to get an easy tap on and move to the next hole. Really just trying to get the tap in at this point and move on. With that par, you're just getting par 3.
All these players should be inside the circle at this point. That should keep Devin Owens in that 100% inside the circle putting percentage. And guys, we would love to hear some feedback from you as we go through this round coverage. It's Avery and I's first live experience, and again, we're excited to be here with you. Let us know how we're doing, how we can better serve all of our fans out there. Zach Melton from looks like the circle's edge. This is gonna be close.
Little step putt for the par. Good par save on this hole.
Looks like a great outside the circle putt. Gonna check the box on hole 11. Give us a shout out. Use the hashtag DGWT, standing for Disc Golf World Tour. Simon Wazat should tap this in right here at the hashtag La Mirada Open 2016. Simon was not too happy about that one.
This one hole, like I said, you don't really expect it to on this hole. You don't want to bogey it. Is the biggest thing. Par is just fine. You got plenty of opportunities on this back nine to score.
All right, and we're going to move on to hole 12. We're going to get in position down here. Avery and I are going to be taking the position by the basket for the catch. Avery, tell us a little bit about hole 12. It's so beautiful. You got a big tree guarding the basket. What's the trick on this hole?
It's more difficult than it looks. It's a shorter hole, a very reachable par 3. You got the downhill slope with a very fast green. You got these beautiful floral trees surrounding the basket. It's a little more dangerous and a little more challenging than I expected. Speed control is crucial. Trying to keep the disc low, trying to get the check up short, and feed back to the basket. Any skip or speed on this shot is going to leave you far away from the basket, even a chance to go out of bounds long.
A 15-footer quickly turns into a 50-footer more often than not on this hole. So we're getting into position. Scores are being tallied. Caution is being taken. Discs are being dried. And you're going to see a variety of lines on this hole, too. Pretty much anything you could throw with a disc, there's a way to get it to the basket. It's just about how does it land.
Simon played this hole perfectly yesterday. Good speed control with a mid-range. Actually got the check up short and get inside the circle on a green hit. I expect these lefties to go outside wide. It's very open. a lot less trees in the way, and bring it kind of backdoor, more wide open part of the green.
Again, if you're just tuning in, this is the 2016 La Mirada Open, the inaugural disc golf world tour event here in normally beautiful Southern California. Thank you guys so much for your support. Waiting on the lead card of Paul McBeth, Simon Lizotte, Zach Melton, and Devin Owens. From our position down here, it's a little bit difficult for us to see who's throwing, but we're going to do our best. Should be Paul on the tee first. Going big. Looks like a sidearm route. A little bit long. Drops it just outside the circle on the backside.
Yeah, maybe the shot of choice, you're taking the trees out of the equation, you're taking the downhill slope out of the equation by throwing the big lefty hyzer down the hill, or a forehand shot in this case. I think it's a safer bet for Paul at this point.
Devin Owens should be taking a similar route here as he's next to tee.
Very crucial keeping the disc dry. You see the players taking their time on the tee, getting the towel, staying underneath the umbrella. No water droplets on the disc.
Ooh, Devin's disc almost goes out of bounds, stops just short. He's going to be good ways outside the circle with a pretty safe approach back up and try to get that two. And here is Zach Melton, who just canned a nice outside the circle putt to save par, going third.
Big lefty hyzer. He actually gauged his shot and learned from what Devin's shot did by almost juicing and keeping it a little long. Left a little shorter, got the drop inside the circle. That's a green regulation. It should be an easy inside the circle putt for him.
Should be about 18 feet away. Simon throws quickly, another mid-range up the gut.
He's got this hole absolutely dialed. That's about 22 feet short up on the high hillside. Good speed control underneath the limbs. Got to feed, skip, right inside the circle. Beautiful shot.
And we've seen a lot of classic rivalries out here at La Mirada, which, of course, in club that has produced so many champions over the years. Avery, you have so much knowledge of this game. I mean, what do you expect to see from the guys like McBeth and Lizotte? And is that just the next in the line of rivalries?
These guys have been rivalries for the last couple of years. Being good friends, they do joke around and play a lot in tournaments and hit league cards. I'm even thinking back to a lot of battles last year, some of the big major events and national tours. I'm even going to look back at a major event that was played in Copenhagen. It was actually Paul McBeth and Devin Owens battling for the lead. Went down to the final closing holes where Paul made a clutch putt, about a 35-footer to seal a deal at the Copenhagen Open. A lot of good players within these league cards here, and it's good to see Zach Milton moving up and being one of those players in the league card today.
As the players are approaching the green, should be Devin throwing first. We see him rolling out there. Almost went out of bounds. You have to think that if it was sunny out here and the green was as fast as it normally is, he may have been taking a penalty stroke.
Yeah, with the tailwind coming off the hill, it's breezy, it's swirling. Lefty throwing the big hyzer route, got a little fast on the backside, and luckily stayed in bounds. This should be an easy little approach. Not forcing nothing, keeping it easy, attacking for the three.
Smart play in the rain here, and the wind is starting to whip. It's taking all the budding flowers off of the tree right into our face. Paul McBeth looking for an outside the circle check mark. Left it weak side a little bit. The rain is pushing, the wind and the rain pushing the disc off weak side.
I apologize for saying any kind of putt inside the circle is going to be routine at this point. Nothing's routine. Even a 5-footer is going to make these players think about it.
In this weather, you are absolutely correct, and Simon has to step up into a headwind right here from about 25 feet.
Rushed it, felt a little impatient, left it low, right into the cage.
And he puts his hands up like, what else can I do? There's nothing you can do right now. Zach Melton trying to take the box and be the lone person to birdie this card. Concentration is key right here in these elements.
Another one got away from him. He looked rushed, he looked impatient. The wind is ripping, the rain is coming in. It may have slipped off his hands, but he left it low into the pole.
You almost can't trust tap-ins at this point, as Paul barely snuck that one in.
It's definitely not a putt you want to rush, but these players just want to get to shelter right now. They want to get under an umbrella and stay dry.
And as we will follow the players as we approach a more sheltered area for the next tee, we'll be right back with more action from the 2016 La Mirada Open.
When athletes compete at the top level of their sport, it takes passion, skill, focus, and hard work to win. It seems only appropriate that the trophies awarded to them should reflect the same qualities. I wanted to make something distinctive and different for this event. The trophies combine ancient Italian techniques with new ideas and materials. One of the most enjoyable things about hand-blown glass is the process through which it is created. Hot glass has to be kept turning at all times. Adding a bearing to the finished piece means that even after it is cold, it will keep spinning, giving a little taste of what it was like when it was being crafted.
And we're back here at the 2016 La Mirada Open. We're standing here on the tee of hole 13 where the weather has just changed for the worse. The rain is just coming down in sheets at this point.
You think it's hard for the players, it's hard for us right now just to make it through this. Rain is ripping, the wind is swirling. I can only imagine what the players are dealing with right now.
And we're gonna have some bonus coverage as this weather has caused a little bit of a backup and the chase card is still up to throw. We're gonna take you live to that just momentarily. Stand by with us. Looks like the fairway's clear. We're going to get out the way here and let them throw. First on the tee, the local Bobby Music.
He's a little guy, but he throws a long, long way. I'm looking for him way down the fairway initially.
A little left into the trees. Oh, a nice roll out to the right. You should have a pretty good angle to approach the green from there.
Still a distance from the island green. Very tight, very difficult pin position. At this point, he might be looking just to lay up and get his easy four.
Philo Brathwaite. Holding up as the spotter is walking across the fairway here. Not sure whether he's cleared to throw or not. Just want to make sure. We're all out in the rain anyway. Might as well take your time, make sure it's safe, make sure you throw the shot that you really want to throw.
Yeah, the rounds we've been seeing all week have been about 3-hour rounds, which is very fast on a par 63 course. Right now, it's going to definitely slow down quite a bit with the rain and the wind. Keeping these disc drives crucial right now.
Philo Brathwaite again will be throwing momentarily, coming off a win at the Gentlemen's Club Challenge in Las Vegas and coming off a very strong performance at the first NT of the season, the Memorial Championships down in Phoenix, Arizona, where he made the lead card. Looks like he's ready to throw now.
Good looking shot, got down the fairway quite a bit, trusted his disc, threw it out to the right and finished back to the left in the fairway.
He thought he was past that first tree that's sticking out, with the rain just beating the disc down, slowing it down a little bit. Patrick Brown from San Francisco. That's trouble.
Immediately out of bounds, turned over to the right.
He's going to have to go to the drop zone, which is not an easy shot. Some folks will still lay up from that drop zone if they go out of bounds off the tee.
Ricky Usaki quick to throw.
He's left that one a little bit high.
Three shots carried through the trees, actually fed through the branches and carried him up a little farther than he actually hit the trees. Right now, it's still a very difficult approach to the green from there.
And you can see this tee box has been elevated and pushed back from the normal layout that you will play out here, even the long tournament layouts that you typically use. A tee pad that's up by the path where that the players are walking across. Let's tell them a little bit. We've got some aerial footage of hole 13. Tell them a little bit more about this hole, Avery.
Hole 13, it's a par 4 at 643 feet. A slight downhill off the tee pad. A good sizable fairway off to the left. As you can see, this cement ditch winding through the fairway. Everything off to the right side of that ditch is out of bounds. You go immediately to drop zone and proceed from there with a one-stroke. Captain, the birdie not today.
On the lead card, 16 under par, 3 ahead of Simon, 4 ahead of Devin. And Zach Melton struggling a little bit here on moving day, but putting up a valiant effort.
I know Patrick Brown and Philo are making some big moves on the second card. Can't wait to see what that leaderboard scoreboard has for offer.
And I hope you guys will do as we're doing all day, checking the live scores, www.discgolfworldtour.com/live. Another where they are. Shouldn't be too much trouble for them. As Devin Owens has a long look, he may have the opportunity here to be aggressive.
Yeah, depending on where these branches are, the low-lying limbs, we're going to see him try to maybe make a run for this hole. Weak side, right side, hits a tree, drops about 12 feet to the right.
It's like the prophecy came true. They are all sitting right there. Watch these guys finish out here and get ready to move on to the third par 4 in a row. Finishing out the middle set of the back 9. Ooh, just barely gets above the collar there.
As you can see, this rain on the disc and the wetness on the disc is not affecting me. Practices for this exact moment. Simon may not practice with a wet disc. It definitely affected and left it low on that shot.
And that's a moment he's going to want to have back, and that's directly affected by the rain.
These are putts, like we said, you can't take these short putts for granted. The wind, the rain, anything can happen. Just like it did there. Unfortunate, left side, weak side, rolled off the rim and out.
Looks like the chase card is still also waiting to tee on hole 15. We may have another little backup here as we finish out hole 14. Takes a little bit more time in this back corner of the course as the scoring tent to help update those live metrics that everybody's following. There's a good, powerful putt by Zach. Devin Owens with a powerful putt. Simon will clean up.
You have to be fully committed to these putts. Short putts, long putts, full commitment always. Slight wind gust, wet disc, anything can affect these. You just want to jam it in there, let the chains work for you. If it's going to spit out, it's going to spit out, but you got to give it a chance to stay.
And our pros here finishing out on hole 14. Hole 15, another par 4. It's going to be almost the opposite of hole 14. You're going to go not quite a dog leg, but a nice smooth curvature to the right, going uphill. This is another hole that's a modified traditional hole from a Golden State layout or a long layout here at La Mirada. We push the basket back so it stretches to just over 600 feet, a true par 4 for these competitors.
I've seen a lot of players opt for the roller, uphill, low ceiling. They're just really trying to get down the fairway as far as possible, trying to leave them an easier second shot. Saw a lot of pars here yesterday, unfortunately, with even players getting down there far enough that didn't calculate the risk of a lower ceiling shot.
Patrick Brown and Ricky Wasaki both opt for a roller, both curling right up into that sweet spot at the top of the hill. And if you can get to that spot, then your approach is pretty open on the left side.
Yeah, it looks like it's an easier second shot, maybe being a forehand shot from there, a little more wide open to that side.
Bobby Music on the tee. Three rollers so far on the chase card, needing it to turn. And wow, that one's going to curl very nicely. See if Philo can bring up the fourth roller or if he opts for a different line.
Got a little switch on the disc selection here, switching it up, possibly switching to a roller disc. Or exactly the opposite, maybe switch from a roller disc to an air shot. Just trying to get down there on the first shot, giving yourself a chance to maybe get an easier look for a second shot to the pin.
The air shot off the tee here is tough because you need to get up that embankment to the top. Otherwise, the height angle that you have to put on your second shot to the green becomes much more difficult, as Philo's going to have to navigate that now. All the other rollers did make it to the top of that ridge.
As we cue into the chase card, second card was Saki, sitting at 11 down. Bobby Music at 10. Philo Brathwaite at 8. And Patrick Brown at 8. Wasaki at 5 strokes back of the lead. Beth at 16.
Take a moment here. Once again, we can't say it enough. Just got to thank our sponsors again. Dude Clothing, Grip Equipment, Innova Champion Disc, Discmania, Disc Golf Park. We wouldn't be out here without you guys, so I know we're saying it a lot, and we're going to keep saying it throughout this whole Disc Golf World Tour. As Avery was saying earlier, 5 events, 4 countries, and we've got a bunch of countries represented here at the first one. We're so happy to see some international representation.
Yeah, 9 countries total. That's outstanding to see players traveling from all over Europe to play this event. I can say right now, you got Germany, you got Finland, you got Sweden, even got Australia represented at this first inaugural World Tour event. It's great to see the players from all over the world participate in this global tournament.
I know Hungary and Switzerland are here too. It's awesome to see. I know Avery, you and some of the other American pros love going over to Europe and play, and it's just as great to see them come over here and just turn this game really internationally in this day and age.
Yeah, it's great to get the opportunity. Obviously, I'm very grateful to travel to Europe every summer, play tournaments, also do a lot of deep in the game instructional clinics. This summer, looking forward to traveling throughout Sweden, Norway, Czech, and Estonia, doing a lot of teachings over there, instructionals, and it's been great to be able to travel the world. After all these years of playing disc golf, never thought I'd get the opportunity to travel as many places I have and play as many courses I have, but truly it comes down to meeting all the great players and meeting a lot of friends and making a lot of friends along the way, so it's been amazing.
And speaking of traveling, you're going to be doing a bit of traveling this year across the United States with a brand new concept that I'm hearing about. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
So yeah, we're working with the Deep in the Game Tour as it transforms, being the Discmania Tour. This year, we're opening the Discmania Combine. What it is, it's a recruitment event. We're going to be doing two events in Texas, and then one in California in May. And what it is, it's a skills challenge event where players are going to show up, participate in a putting, approaching, and driving skill set. Also challenged with a round of golf. All points denominations where they're going to be tested in the putting, the approaching, the driving, along with the speed gun, and then the round of golf be scored, and there'll be certain points for a total. And we're looking forward to trying to find the best players in the country, players that come out of the woodworks, some unknown talents, some unfound talents. And by putting on these events, we plan on testing and challenging the best players out there and welcome on to Team Discmania. So
wait a second. So I can come out, try out in front of you.
Yes.
And I can opt for a spot on Team Discmania?
Yes, that's the whole ticket. There's going to be qualifying for 5 players as we go through a whole interview process, but we're trying to find the best players out there by testing their skill set, testing them on their abilities, but also testing on their golf set. Really trying to find the best players out there, and everybody has the best chance to make Team Discmania.
So if you have been competing in your local leagues, looking at Simon or Eagle or any of the other Team Discmania members and saying, hey, I could do that, why don't you come on out and try? Discmania Combine Tour sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Like being in Texas, we're going to do back-to-back events. The first one in Fort Worth, second one in Austin, Texas, and then later on, the weekend before Masters Cup, we're going to be in Santa Cruz. Beautiful venue. We're going to be at the UCSC Fields, and then playing the Round of De La Viega, world-renowned course, as you know. And just looking forward to it. It's a new concept and a new theory on a Discmania tour. We've done Flying Circus to the Deep in the Game tours, but it's just a new revolution of what Discmania offers, and we try to bring to the table. So the Discmania Combine, check it out this year.
Where can people find out information about this?
It'll be listed on discmania.net/tour. You'll find all the tour schedule, along with all the details of the tour and the Combine. And alongside that, Simon's actually going to be out there as well, doing a lot of the Flying Circus events that he did last year, going out there doing distant demos, doing speed guns challenges, and it's a lot of fun. If it's in the area, I absolutely recommend you need to check these events out.
I got to tour manage for Simon a little bit last year. I was lucky enough to, and he's an endless entertainer, so those events are a lot of fun. Look who's hiding behind the camera here. Devin Owens. What's going on, Devin?
He's just trying to stay dry.
He's trying to stay dry. Come in the umbrella with us, man. I got to give some love here. Another lefty doing it big out here at La Mirada. What did you say at, was it the European Masters a couple years ago? The highest rated lefty in the world was your introduction?
Yes, it was.
That was a lot of fun. How does this course set up for a lefty? Tell all the other lefties out there.
I really start off with just trying to hit the landing zone like the righties, and then it's like a utility upshot, usually a sidearm or a soft mid-range, and just trying to keep it in balance with them tight greens.
Now, how's the weather affecting the play so far? I know I'm getting cold.
It's brutal. You got to have some dry towels, or you're going to be slipping around all this place. So it's been pretty brutal with this rain on the back nine. The front nine was pretty, here and there, little sprinkles, but this back nine's been a solid downpour for sure.
And you've been one of the most solid putters in the tournament so far, so we're going to wish you the best of luck, and keep those putters dry, man. Keep bringing up those putts.
Hey, thank you.
All right, good luck. And we're still waiting here just a little bit longer. The chase cart has gotten to the top of the ridge here, so we're waiting on the all clear from the spotters so that we can, again, tackle the third of 3 par 4s, throwing back-to-back-to-back par 4s at our competitors this weekend.
Yeah, it's great to see a difficult, challenging final holes on this back 9. It's no gimme, it's no walkthrough. You got a challenging par 4 and 15, a challenging par 3 and 16. You got the island hole on 17, and then 18. It's no gimme. It's an easier hole of the par 3s, but it's no gimme, and you can't take these holes for granted.
Just give another quick shout out to the highlight round. Our editor, Corey Merle. Spelling Morel, but I learned it's Merle. Corey Merle helping us out. He's back at the editing booth trying to cut everything and get it updated, uploaded the same day or next day to Spin TV. Working his tail off. We appreciate all his efforts. And we got that highlight cut out last night. And Paul Macbeth's putt on this hole yesterday, he must have been 60, 70 feet out wide and just rang it up for a birdie. He went 6 of the last 7 yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. He was draining some long putts in this little backstretch, 3 putts in a row that he hit outside the circle. Just following the stats, he was putting phenomenally yesterday, and he was one of a handful of people that actually had some 3 putts outside the circle alongside Dunapace and Chris Sprague. So it was cool to see the stats lay out and really lay out to see what Paul could shoot. But on the putting, he was absolutely critical on the inside the circle, but also getting some bonus putts outside the circle as well.
And another opportunity to shout out to the metric system. When you guys go online to discgolfworldtour.com, you can click on the players' names, and you can see their hole-by-hole breakdown and where their metric stats lie. See how many inside-the-circle putts it takes them to complete the hole, or see if there's an outside-the-circle putt to go along with their number score, obviously. Penalty strokes, where they occur. And the best thing, one of the cooler things that I like, is you can tab over and see the ranking. And that ranking will continually be updated throughout each round of the tournament and throughout each tournament of the season. So at the end of this year, we'll be able to see who's the #1 outside the circle putter in the world, or at least on the world tour, as well as who's got the highest inside the circle putting percentage and who's taken the most penalties, which is not something you want to be at the top of the list for.
No, and when you're looking as a player, you got 5 events. You're going to establish a world tour putting percentage inside the circle, outside the circle. It's going to be cool to see after a whole year of statistics where you rank and where you lie as far as the best players in the world. Exciting to have stats as part of this. And just to go back to even that highlight reel that Corey put together last night, you guys did a fabulous job with the highlights, the play-by-play. It sounded like you were on ESPN last night, and really going through the metrics breakdown to see where these players lie, the penalty strokes they took, the putts they make. And the bonus feature is only if you do log in and register through the site. So if you're clicking on this right now and you're checking the live score and you're only getting the score, you need to register, log into the discgolfworldtour.com website, become a member, and you can see all the player stats and follow your favorite players out here.
Are we pushing it hard enough yet? Sorry, not sorry. It's a free service. Get that login. Stay up to date. We're going to put some bonus content behind that login wall as well. Some bonus videos and things that we're doing out here. It's just a way to, really stay in touch and follow your favorite players throughout the season. It looks like we're gearing up here just in time. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. We know the rain and the weather and the elements kind of make for funny round times. The rounds went so fast yesterday. About 3-hour rounds, and always a little slower when you have to deal with things like this because the players, just want to take that extra time to make sure they get the shots they need. Look at Paul over here. His hands are shaking. It's a little bit cold. Whew. Keeping them dry. You know who else we have in the crowd? I can see Matthew Robertson over here. Simon, did you check out that History of La Mirada clip yet that we put up?
I watched last night or this morning. Yeah, I liked it.
It was so good. Big shout out to Matthew Robertson, CIK Productions. He's a local from out here in La Mirada. He also put together a really fantastic documentary called Disc Golf Matters. So check out, I believe the YouTube channel for that is Disc Golf Matters. But on Spin TV, our La Mirada history clip, it's about 5 minutes long, and it goes a little bit into, obviously, the history of this course, where it came from, its roots. And you can't encompass the whole history of this course in 5 minutes, but it's a good place to start.
Yeah, it was cool. If you guys don't know, and I mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again, this is the second permanent disc golf course ever installed in the entire world. Oak Grove in Pasadena being the #1, La Mirada Disc Golf Course being #2. This course is going to celebrate its 40th anniversary this year. 40 years of disc golf inside the La Mirada Regional Park. Completely incredible. It's got a lot of history, and it's just great to continue that history by having the La Mirada open in 2016.
All right, looks like we're getting ready to tee. Paul Macbeth says, I'm tired of waiting. We're going to throw here.
That was a heater. Massive roller down the gut, way down the fairway. Simon next to tee.
And Simon goes for the roller, hits the first tee, but luckily he's going to curl right back into the fairway.
He got fortunate with that carom off the left side of that tree that didn't kick immediately out of bounds to the left. But he tried to launch it down there. He's really trying to capitalize by getting down the fairway and trying to leave us easier second approach.
Devin Owens running out very quickly here. Got a kick, traveling left.
Fortunate enough to stay back. Fortunate enough to stay in bounds.
He will be in bounds. He threw an overstable enough disc to stay and not get that penalty stroke. And Zach Melton's going to approach the tee. These guys are not taking very long now. Gets a love tap. And here's Simon saying, what a kick. And certainly was.
Yeah, that carried on like the fifth tree up the fairway, way up the fairway. As it hit, it still had enough trajectory, enough spin to carry forward and continue skipping forward. That's the best drive on this hole, depending on where Macbeth got with that roller.
And Macbeth, like you say, flashing the rings, getting up there on this par 4. I mean, you can see these guys are just running out from under the umbrella, taking their shots, and I think they're ready to get warm and dry.
If there's a testament to this disc golf park turf tee pads, you saw it right there. Throwing these rollers in the wet conditions, not a slip, not a skip, not a slide out of these players on that off-balance center of gravity roller technique. These tee pads are the best tee pads I've ever seen with the grip and the durability. We offer the best products here at the Disc Golf World Tour.
And that really is so crucial when you can trust. If you have enough grip in your footing to trust and really go throw that full power shot, regardless of whether it's the perfect conditions or whether you're in a blizzard. In which today we're somewhere in between, obviously.
This weather is absolutely for the ducks. As you can see, the ducks in the fairway right in front of Devin Owens' lie.
Fairway is going to curve to the right, up over this ridgeline, playing nicely into the lefty hyzer. Needs a skip. Going to wait on some reaction from the gallery. Might be a up and down for a par.
The rain seems to be letting up. We're getting a little drizzle here. Look at the behind us. We get the backside of the storm. It looks like it's a little more, a little lighter. See a little more sunshine coming through. Hopefully, we might get the last couple holes without any kind of rain.
Crossing our fingers out here right now. Simon going mid-range, high up in the branches, and it gets knocked straight down. We're going to walk up the fairway a bit here. Approaching the top of the ridge, really where you want to be off the tee if you're going to birdie it. Chase Card doing a little bit better of a job off the tee. Most of them opting for the roller like we saw a few minutes ago. Paul Macbeth looking for his disc. And he may have gotten further up the fairway than everybody else, but he is right underneath this really young tree that's bent over. So that's a low ceiling on this next shot.
Yeah, real unique shapes of these trees up here. Look like they're bent over by the wind. Little low line, little gap shot under the arch.
Needs to go forehand out to the left.
Pulled it out to the left side, fed it back to the right. That's sitting right underneath the basket.
Ceiling doesn't seem to affect him on that shot. That's a great shot there. And he's skipping. He is setting up very nicely for a birdie putt to capitalize on this hole.
Here's Zach Milton, the long drive off the tee.
Sometimes it just helps to be a lefty.
As you would say, I'm sure.
You're right about that one. Going for a backhand air shot.
Wow, seems to left that shot a little short. Wide open to the left side, lined up perfect for his kind of game. Seems he let off on it, possible slip, left it short side.
Simon quickly runs up as his lie was next to him, and he's left it even shorter. That's a big mistake out of Lazat.
Again, that's 2 days in a row. Just impatience got the best of him. He's forcing these shots, being a little too quick, caught the low limbs, skipped up there short behind the tree, looking at like 50 feet.
Not an easy putt in good conditions. Definitely not an easy putt out here today. It seems that Paul Macbeth is the only person who is going to get a birdie on this hole, or at least has a good opportunity for it, without some miraculous throw-in at this point with the way the conditions are turning out.
Here's Devin Owens' third shot. Might possibly be giving it a little bit here, a little look. Get at least chain high. Left it low, short side left. Just looking to get his par 4 on this hole.
Never really had a chance for birdie, but at this point, we'll take it.
Same thing on Simon, a very rushed putt. Left outside right, skipped a little long left. Just trying to get on from this hole. He took a par on this hole yesterday due to an unfortunate upshot. And again, same thing here.
Zach Melton looking to be about 40 feet, 40, maybe 45 feet from the pin here. "45 feet in the rain would be a 4-digit separator putt."
Dialed. That was dead center, no doubt about it. Melton's more of a spin putter, as you see. Good trajectory, good velocity, great finish. What a putt.
Paul Macbeth likes it, shows him a little love, and that he knew it right out of his hand. He started walking towards that basket. He's excited to save that stroke. Simon cleaning up his bogey. A lot of birdie bogey swings between Simon and Paul coming down the stretch on this back nine.
Yeah, it's been absolutely a roller coaster here. Capitalizing on these shots, trying to get your birdies on the long stretch here on these par 4s. Paul playing absolutely solid forehand outside right. Puts it for a close little tap in 3.
And hole 16 coming up here. Hole 16, we're done with those 3 par 4s. Hole 16 is a tricky little shot here. They're going to go right around the baseball fence to a very protected pin by some large trees. It's reachable by everybody playing in this tournament pretty much. And these guys, the tricky rollaway on the green is the target here.
Yeah, the shot here is to leave the shot long and to the right to the more open edge of the green. Like you said, you have those trees kind of guarding early left. You don't want to be caught in those trees, and we were near those trees for this putt. Longer right, looking at an uphill putt, giving you a little better, safer attempt at it too.
As the chase card has just finished this hole, we're going to move our cameras into positions. Get ready for the lead card to come through. Giving one more shout out to that highlight footage put out last night. A lot of really big putts happened on this hole. Simon had a great birdie. Paul had an even better birdie, honestly. And just saw you can really take some strokes here too, because for as many birdies as there were a lot of bogeys with the rollaways going into the fairway of 17, separated by some OB paint out here just to give a little more of that challenging element to these pros.
This is in. Ricky Osaki moved into 3rd place, tied for 3rd. Paul Macbeth moving to 18 under.
Looks like Bobby Music is at 10 down, so he is still in the hunt too, just as he always is out here at La Mirada. And that's going to be OB from Paul Macbeth. He has gone long and out, waiting for the official signal from the spotter. It is a red flag. He went long of the baseball fence and skipped out of bounds.
Similar to the shot he did yesterday, he got away with one by staying in bounds long to the left side. Today he took it a little tight inside early and took the unfortunate skip out of bounds.
They're trying to play it closer to this baseball diamond outfield fence because of the way the green slopes very quickly down to hole 17's fairway and that out of bounds. If you get it up on edge, there's no stopping it. Do you believe it'll be Zach Melton next on the tee? Shot's drifting out right, needs to stay in bounds. He will be short, but he will be safe.
Yeah, it's absolutely a tough lefty turnover shot along the fence, along the sloping downhill side. For a lefty, not ideal. Righty, it plays very natural to the hyzer shot, but lefty just playing along that hillside slope, very dangerous hole for them.
And apologies for our commentary here. We must have missed a couple of the throws. Sure, you saw them on the feed. Tucked a little bit below the ridgeline where it was hard for us to see, but we can confirm that that last throw is a little bit short of the pin. And Paul, looks like one of his signature rock threes did go out of bounds. So, gonna see.
Way back there.
He must have caught an early tree. These fairways are kind of close together. A little bit of a standoff to see whether the chase card is throwing. Lead card doesn't want to distract them as they come up over the hill. Obviously, proper golf etiquette. The higher hole does go first.
As rain continues to come down, it's a pretty steady, consistent mist. I thought I was letting up for a second. You actually do see some of the lighter skies behind us as the storm is pushing through. But right now, it's just keeping a nice, consistent mist and kind of that annoying rain, as we say when we're golfers, because it doesn't really matter how much it is right now. It's still keeping your disc wet, and you're really just trying to battle the game to keep your disc dry.
Here's a shot coming in really hot. Needs a skip. Just sits down. That's Devin Owens. He's going to be about 40 or so long of the pin. Skipping just inside the circle there. Should be looking at a 3. We are seeing the first break in the clouds. Finally some blue skies off in the distance, and they can't get here fast enough. We've got our lead card here approaching. As you may have heard in the microphone, Patrick Brown asking about some of the rules to play on 17. Very difficult out-of-bounds rules coming into play on 17. Really set up to challenge these players. Asking for a marshal. UC Maresmo going to go over there and help that group make the call. And it looks like it'll be Simon. It was a little short off the tee. Tricky putt.
Sitting about circle's edge and give this a good bid. Kind of limped it up there. He didn't give it the strong, committed putt that he's usually used to. Right there, left it low. Not enough trajectory and not enough spin. Didn't get to the basket.
Paul Macbeth in a very similar position to where he was yesterday, although he is putting for par this time instead of birdie. Let's see if he can make lightning strike twice.
There's absolutely no point in rushing this putt right now. There's a lot of action going on behind the basket. Very distracting. You see the chase card right behind him. He's actually going to line this putt up. Thinking about it. Too much going on. I'll just wait. There's no rush right now. You're going to be waiting on them on 17 anyway.
Hole 18's fairway is directly in the field of view behind him, as well as 17. It's 3 parallel fairways where you can see 3 groups playing. Looks like Devin Owens is going to step up and go instead. Good sportsmanship shown between Devin and Paul. Devin says he's ready. He's not facing those fairways. Not going to bother him.
Par putt, low right side, never gave it a chance. That's going to be a standard bogey at this point.
Paul still waiting, going to take his time. The issue seems to be that the guy holding the lollipop, as we call it, the leaderboard that's walking with the chase card, keeps twirling it, not aware that Paul is directly in the line as he steps even more into the line. We do appreciate all the volunteers out here this weekend. Sure, it's not an intentional thing trying to mess with any of the players, and we do appreciate them coming out, suffering through the weather just like we did, to help all the spectators have a better experience and understand where these players are. Thanks for hanging with us all the way through the round. We are on hole 16, only a couple more holes to bring it in. And when it's cold out here and you only have a few holes left, what are you thinking in your head at this point, Avery?
You're trying to make it through. You try to make it through the round. 2.5 holes to play at this point if you're still putting on 16. But you can't rush it. You got to remain patient. You still have to play 18 holes. You have to play all 18. You can't just play 17 and walk the last one in. No hole you can take for granted. Keep focused. Keep concentrated. Don't rush your shots. Everybody's out here, same amount of time. Play your 18, play all 18 all the way through.
Looks like Paul is ready. Looking for save his 3P.
Low right side, right into the tray. Very difficult putt. Low ceiling. Meter from the out of bounds line. Very difficult putt, straight for safer par.
And he's lucky there that it didn't stand up and roll. We saw that happen to Nate Doss yesterday as he hit the tray and picked up and rolled out of bounds. Zach Melton just inside the circle.
Again, trickles it over the rim, hits the chains, and splashes out right side.
Simon going to clean up his 3 there. Something you always talk about with spin putting versus push putting. The spin putter's just off to the left or right a little bit. Now this is routine. These guys are going to clean up right here. Zach Melton, Paul Macbeth cleaning up on hole 16 as they go to the very tricky par 4 island green on 17. Tell us about this one, Avery.
Right off the tee pad, depending on how aggressive you want to play, and where your stroke situation is between you and the leader. I've seen a lot of players lining up shots where they're going to try to go for the green with a roller or a very aggressive air shot. But the typical shot is to play a safe shot in the fairway, either a forehand or a soft putter, trying to land in the middle of the fairway and line up for a second shot approach to the green. It's a very small green, 10-meter circle with the pin lying right side, short side, about 10 feet, 12 feet from the OB. A difficult par 4, not a standard hole. Just play it smart. Try to get your birdie as you finish through the course.
And again, very tricky out of bounds on this hole. If you go out of bounds in the first area here, the players will take it from where they go out of bounds. If they attempt to cross and go over the green, even if you get a mark, if you do not make the island, then you go to the drop zone. So it'll be very crucial to know where the players go out, if they go out, and how they can attack this. We know Nate Sexton had a drop-in too on this during practice.
Yeah, he played the aggressive role, or trying to really play into where he is situational-wise, coming down the stretch, final round. If he needs to go for this hole, he can try to go for the eagle. Like we said, it's 550 feet, 548 to be exact. The first shot's a 300-foot shot. The second shot to the green is 250.
Simon with a par is going to be up first. Looks like he's laying up.
Smart play. Putter outside right. Trying to catch and grab the grass. Sitting right in the middle center cut.
Paul lining up the forehand.
Very routine, nonchalant forehand shot. Leaves it outside wide left. Brings it back to the center of the fairway. Should line up very easy for a second shot to the green. But obviously not an easy shot.
The footing on that side hill lie that we have in the middle of this fairway is going to make a big difference. I think you're going to see some strokes being taken here by at least one of these players.
And what you're trying to think of as a player, you're trying to lead it to the left side of this layup. The left side of this fairway, the layup. That's in the center as well. Like I said, you want to push the back left corner. That's going to give you the optimal higher percentage route toward the island green. If you get pinched off too short on the inside right, it's not going to give you the optimum position. It's more of a turnover shot from there.
Devin Owens, fourth to tee here.
All four shots off the green and safe in the fairway.
Like you said, all four players are safe. You'd think this is a final round with the strategy that they all chose right there. Almost daring each other to see if anybody's going to try to play that front edge of the OB and just get that much closer to the pin. Seems like everybody's just kind of waiting for tomorrow at this point in these conditions.
With only 3 rounds in this tournament, very limited time to make your move. You're trying to score well. You're trying to keep it in bounds. You're trying to be patient. I think this last round, we're going to see a lot more fireworks and more aggressive play on this course.
Especially considering that the storm is finally breaking. We're seeing some blue skies up ahead of us. And just in time here. We approach these player shots. Let's see who's going to be first to throw. Currently, Macbeth holding a 5-stroke lead over Simon Wazat. Ricky Wazaki going into this hole was also at 12 down.
I was going into this hole. I saw Ricky throw out of bounds on his tee shot.
Simon going for it. Leaves it way short. He's going to have to go to the drop zone.
Wow, he absolutely rushed that shot. Patience is a virtue out here. Remain patient. Don't rush your shot, especially on an island shot. Very difficult second shot.
Tricky footing on the side hill. Let's see what Paul Macbeth can do.
Same thing. Rushed it. Left it short. Didn't get the skip to the green. Wet grass. Playing all the factors right now.
And this is where a big advantage is going to be to those players who got to go through here earlier in the day before the weather set in, because these guys can't put too much power on this shot without sacrificing accuracy, but you need that power to approach the green. That looks off right, not going to get the mark either.
Same thing, swing and a miss. Took it inside tight right, never gave it a chance to get to the island.
Well, I tell you, I predicted that at least one player would take a stroke here on this hole, but 3 for 3 so far.
Devin juicing it, leaving it wide left. Never had a chance coming back in bounds. All 4 players missing the island green on 17.
And that's a rare, huge mistake by the entire lead card. That's going to bring the chase card back into play. tomorrow we may have some shakeups on the lead card, depending on how the chase card can fare and if they can close out their round strong. 18 is very birdieable.
Absolutely. So you see the players walking down 17's fairway, in the gap between the fairway and the island. They're moving to a drop zone located about 90 to 100 feet downhill from the basket. It's a chip shot from there. Unlikely to make a throw-in par save, but I think the player's going to give it a chance. But right here, it's just unfortunate. When you're missing this island green, you're taking the bogey.
Off to our left while these players approach, Bobby Music has just teed off. Very sticky grass. He's going to be well short of the basket. Looks like Simon is going to be first to approach from the drop zone.
Little soft putter shot up the hill. Leaves about 5 feet short. Like I said, very unlikely the player's going to make it, but I ain't going to rule it out.
Should be the same order as they just threw. Simon, then Paul, then Zach, then Devin.
Paul going for a disc switch here. He did have a green disc in his hand. Now he's switching it up. Doesn't want to take any shot for granted. Goes with the purple putter. Lays it up. Doesn't want to chance anything. It's going to be a drop-in bogey.
With the pin position on the right side of this green from here, it is a little bit tougher for the lefties. Devin says, I don't think so. He's going to be closest to the pin of the three so far.
Yeah, it's real unfortunate to see all 4 players miss the island. Did not anticipate that out of 4 players, the lead players, the best players in this tournament after round 1. But like we said, you can't take any of these holes for granted, any of these shots for granted. Very difficult island hole, and they're all going to walk away with a bogey on this hole.
Usually referred to this hole as a scoring separator. He's very fond of holes where you can really make or break at least your back nine, if not your whole round, late in the back nine in a lot of his designs. And you can see it. There's a lot of commonalities. Hole 16 at the Beast at European Open, hole 18 even out there, hole 17 at the USDGC. You have to play every single shot of every single round out here if you want to be crowned the champion.
That's absolutely correct. When you're thinking about difficult tournaments and difficult course we play in those tournaments, they incorporate an island hole of some sort coming down the stretch that's really going to gauge you as a player. If you're really going to go at this and win this event, you're going to stick it on the green and make the putt.
All 4 players looking like they're going to get their bogeys, I believe. So every player here, none of the players are going to lose a stroke relative to them, to each other, excuse me, but they will lose a stroke on the field, as I'm sure we've seen on the live scores. Many other players have been able to birdie it when the conditions were a little bit better. Hole 18, the chase card is walking up the fairway. We're going to walk up the fairway with them, and we're going to wait. Looks like we're going to give you a little bit of bonus coverage here. Philo Brathwaite. Off the tee, you can see we were noticing yesterday with a lot of the cards coming in that the grass is sticky, where a lot of the other greens are very fast out here. For some reason right here the grass is sticky, and it's a slight uphill slant to the fairway, so Philo here has a long birdie range attempt.
Yeah, extremely long grass with the moisture, with the rain. It's really going to grab these discs. The play on this hole, you're really trying to rifle the drive back into the backside of the green, let it stick on the grass near the basket, setting yourself for an easier 2.
And he's inside the kind of rings out here that surround the basket, sort of a guard against erosion. They went ahead and made a little area where there's a lot of foot traffic. A lot of rounds are played out here at La Mirada. And Bobby Music, one of those people who's played a lot, good bid, leaves it a little weak side. He should be tapping in for par.
For those looking at the leaderboard right now, chase card, Ricky Wasaki lost 2 strokes on the last hole. It was a par 4. He must have taken a 6. I know he missed the fairway on his first shot, and then I'm not sure what he did from there, but he obviously lost 2 strokes on the last hole.
We're going to assume Ricky's going to be putting for a birdie here just inside the circle. Got a stroke back.
That'll get him to 11 under. after the second round overall.
Strong candidate for the lead card going into the final round tomorrow. Championship Saturday out here. The inaugural Disc Golf World Tour event. 2016 La Mirada Open. As Patrick Brown's going to tap in, let's tell you a little bit about this finishing hole, 18.
18's a moderate length par 3, 348. It's a typical hole here at the Golden State layout, even at the La Mirada course. Hole 18, high percentage shot, outside right, low ceiling, really trying to fire your shot into this very thick grass green. It's kind of like a sloped uphill that it'll take some speed. If you're going to throw a driver out here, you really got to punish it up the gap, get it out there, give yourself a chance for two.
And the chase card is coming off, and they're going to take their scores. And Simon Lazat is getting ready to throw already. All the players ready to get out, get warm and dry. Simon was out on the tee. Sneaks it under that branch, needs a skip.
That's on the green inside the circle.
He'll have an opportunity right there. You can see that thick grass we're talking about just grabs the disc as soon as it touches ground.
Paul Macbeth lining up the high percentage shot off to the right, low ceiling, through the branches. You really got to hammer the shot out the gap. 348, low line. Got to smash it. Right next to Simon, skips short, doesn't get a big skip, lands inside the circle in the green. Very similar routes by both Simon and Paul. Here's Zach Melton throwing a forehand shot, lefty forehand, out the gap to the right. Heiser and back in, skips it right below the basket. CTP on hole 18.
Raises his hands up, says finally. He's been struggling a little bit on this back nine, but it's always nice to throw that last shot and throw it well.
It's great to see the lefty show the righties how to throw this hole properly.
Speaking of lefties, the lefty Heiser challenging the OB.
Devin Owens goes wide side, left side backhand. Barely skips from out of bounds, back inbounds. That's on the circle's edge.
We do have the opportunity for a star frame for our lead card to make up for the strokes that they just gave to the field on hole 17. As they walk up the fairway, we're nearing the end of the first ever, the inaugural live coverage of the inaugural Disc Golf World Tour event, the 2016 La Mirada Open. Again, I'm your host, Jamie Thomas, and the man you know is the 2009 world champion, great ambassador to the game, and just an all-around great guy to hang out with on a Friday afternoon and call some golf. Avery Jenkins, we had some fun out here this afternoon.
Yeah, I appreciate the kind words. This is a great opportunity, great to be out here, seeing some great golf. These are the best players in the world, playing one of the best courses in the world. Being out here at the La Mirada Open, it's a thrill, and looking forward to tomorrow being the final day, looking for some beautiful weather and some beautiful golf.
And again, all the info for all the players can be found on www.discgolfworldtour.com. If you add a /live to the end of that, you can follow the live scoring. Make sure you've made an account so you can follow your favorite players, live up-to-date metrics throughout the tournament, throughout the season, see how your favorite pros are doing. As Devin Owens is going to approach the lie and attempt to start the train to bring the star frame on the last hole.
Also, want to say don't forget to check out the Instagram on the social media at DG World Tour. All Instagram updates with videos and photos from the live action here. Something you want to check out is really keep up to date on everything that's going on with the World Tour. I'm sure if you're on Facebook, you've seen maybe a few dozen or 100 posts about the World Tour this week.
Devin Owens for birdie. Got it.
Check another box on the outside the circle putt.
Devin's putter has not let him down all weekend so far.
commitment, focus, dead center by Simon Lazat for a birdie on 18 to finish.
Good concentration by Devin and Simon there. Here's Paul.
Dead center as well. Paul Macbeth for a tap-in 2 on 18 to go to 17 under for the tournament.
And I know the putts haven't been the easiest out here, but I think it's safe to assume that Zach Melton's going to make this one.
He's at least 100% from that distance I've seen all day.
And guys, that is the lead card finishing up on hole 18. We'll be right back after these messages.
It's not a popularity contest. It's not about having the greatest season in history. It's not about shoe deals, grand slams, or breaking records. It's about knowing that every king's reign comes to an end, and looking into his eyes as he surrenders his throne.
When athletes compete at the top level of their sport, it takes passion, skill, focus, and hard work to win. It seems only appropriate that the trophies awarded to them should reflect the same qualities. I wanted to make something distinctive and different for this event. The trophies combine ancient Italian techniques with new ideas and materials. One of the most enjoyable things about hand-blown glass is the process through which it is created. Hot glass has to be kept turning at all times. Adding a bearing to the finished piece means that even after it is cold, it will keep spinning, giving a little taste of what it was like when it was being crafted.
And welcome back. We're here at the 2016 La Mirada Open, back at Tournament Central. With me here, I have Ricky Wasaki, who had a scorching round today, and he's going to move up unofficially so far into the lead card for Championship Saturday. First of all, tell us a little bit about the challenges today in these conditions.
Well, they were rough. The front nine started off pretty sunny, not too much wind, not too much rain. I think it was just, on our ninth hole, I think was when the rain started. And so, I knew, the front nine was going to be a big, scoring opportunity for me. I didn't take full advantage of it, but I definitely managed to salvage my round when the rain started. So I knew after the rain started, it was going to get crazy. Scores could, be up and down. So I was just trying to stay, level-headed and not get too crazy with the rain.
And you see, we saw you take a little bit of an OB penalty on hole 17, knowing that the rain is affecting everybody's game. What do you have to tell yourself to stay in it at that point?
Yeah, I like to play quick. I'd like to try and, play as quick as I can. So as soon as I get a grip with my disc under the umbrella, I go out and throw, as opposed to waiting there and waiting for my grip to slip. So, I had felt the grip, but I didn't feel the shot. So, that really, hurt my round. I had a decent round until that hole, but, I'm still excited to be in the lead group for tomorrow.
You're definitely in the hunt. How much would it mean to you to bring home the first Disc Golf World Tour champion title?
It'd mean a lot. First tournament of the new tour. It would mean a lot. I think I still have an opportunity. I think with all the weather and everything being said, I think I'm, in a decent spot. So, I think if I play well tomorrow, I think I still have a chance.
Well, best of luck. Get warm, stay dry. We'll see you tomorrow for some exciting action.
Right on. Thank you.
And we'll be right back. We're going to talk to KJ Nebo, who also has moved up into the lead group, in just 1 second. Oh, excuse me. We're going to... And we're back here. We are here with KJ Nebo, the 10-time Danish champion, who shot the hot round today, 7 under par. That's fantastic. How did you do that today?
I just started out with 2 birdies and kept on going and played safe. Had an OB on was it 5, yeah, and had a birdie in the next one and kind of just kept going and kept them inbounds and played a little more safe when the rain came in. And I had a good feeling, and my craziest shot was probably the second island hole, 17, where I went OB just right and had to go for it from there and make a crazy roller inside the island and made it and got my 4 there.
Wow, so through a roller onto the island, we saw the entire lead card miss the island on their second shot. Yeah. That probably had a lot to do with you climbing onto the lead card for tomorrow.
Yeah. Also, I am on the lead card, yeah.
So what do you expect to do tomorrow? Are you going to make any changes, adjust your game plan? There are only 3 rounds in this tournament. It's make or break time.
Yeah, no, I'm have all my plans in the book, and I'm just gonna follow that more sure, and keep on going, pushing a little bit. I don't know where the others are, so just gonna stick to my game plan and take one shot at a time.
Well, once again, best of luck. Get warm, stay dry. We'll see you tomorrow, KJ.
Thank you.
KJ, known for his meticulous preparation on and off the course. And you have been watching the 2016 La Mirada Open, the inaugural Disc Golf World Tour event. We're so happy you joined us. Please join us tomorrow at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, here on Spin TV. For Avery Jenkins, I'm Jamie Thomas. We'll see you tomorrow on Championship Saturday.